All right. Good day, my friends. I hate to say I told you so, but yeah, like the saying goes, I told you so. Van life, van dwelling, RV life, RV dwelling, vehicle dwelling. It's hitting a bad note here in Vancouver. I've showed you this spot a few times, and I've showed you a few other spots around this area a few times, saying that if it continues, it's the end of van life for some of these people. And you know what? Yep, the city has cracked down. These people have 1 week to vacate. They've been kicked out, they've been given notices. If you guys don't move, we're towing you, period. And it's hit every news station here in Vancouver. And one of the worst things about this area is right beside this mess is this school. 2 schools. I think it's a middle school and a high school. So every morning all these kids are walking by this mess, seeing this and laughing at it and whatever else. So yeah, that's an eyesore. And you know, to be honest, I do feel a little bad for these people that they maybe are on disability. As a news story says about some of these people, health issues, who knows, drug issues, whatever. In some ways I feel bad about it. In other ways, I also feel a part of this problem. Because when I first moved to this city 4.5 years ago, this was one of the first places I stayed. I was the only person on this block. You can go back and look at my videos talking about this area. And then we had 1 or 2 more following me. And then the next thing you know, a couple years later, those 1 or 2 have grown into what they had counted here at one time was 24. And I think I was similar. I counted around 30 vehicles in one of my videos here. So I feel bad that possibly I started this. But the thing was, I rotated. I didn't sit in the same spot every time. This was one area. I'd stay here one day, go to another area for another day. So yeah, these guys are squatting here, not good. And we're gonna go for a walk and show you what it looks like now, the ugliness. But before I do that, I'm going to I'm gonna go home and video some of the video clips that the news have been talking about this. And then we'll come back and show you this pretty ugly area. Global news, illegally parked campers told to vacate Vancouver streets. Let's see what they gotta say.
There were about 24 RVs, trailers, and vans parked along East 12th and Slocan here in Vancouver in what's been dubbed the Slocan RV City. One of its residents, who didn't want to be identified, has been here for 1.5 years after traveling around in a camper for about 3 years. He says he had a pretty good life until his wife died of pancreatic cancer. Couldn't afford to stay where he was. He's had some major struggles, burnt through his savings, and ended up living here as a means to survive on $350 a month he gets from his pension.
Here on the street, it costs the taxpayer very little to look after me. I don't ask for any money from welfare. I don't ask for any money from the government. I get my pension, and that's my money.
I saw that black kitten there.
It's not enough to afford a place to live.
That's weird.
But it's enough that I can take care of myself.
For many people calling these structures home, this is the last option they have before sleeping on the street. The City of Vancouver says they are illegally parked. There have been hygiene, safety, and nuisance problems. They'll be facing eviction on May 26th. Many of these vehicles are not insured, and some are not even running. The City of Vancouver is offering free towing, but residents say that doesn't help the situation because there's nowhere to go. A displacement rally is now in the works on May 26th at 4 p.m. for the residents to take a stand.
We're all people, and we're all different people. But when people come by and they look at us the same way. They look at us like everyone else is a drug addict and some kind of loser from society, and we deserve to suffer. And I don't think we're all like that. I think very few of us are like that. And I think it's not a good way to treat people.
Alright, wait for it. 2, 1, blast off.
This is retirement after a 35-year career in a sawmill.
It is a viable lifestyle, except for, you know, getting your ass booted around. See if there's any mice nesting in there. I wouldn't have anything in the bank if I was paying rent.
When you ask the people sleeping in RVs on city streets in Vancouver, they're likely to have a similar story.
My wife passed away and I couldn't afford to stay where I was anymore, but I couldn't afford to move anywhere else. It makes you want to just disappear. You know, wish you weren't around anywhere. You know, it's very hard.
While some are clearly worse for wear, these large vehicles are home for roughly 2,000 people parked on Slocan Street in East Vancouver. But after many months of being here, they've now become a problem in the eyes of City Hall.
Our challenge is when multiple vehicles gather together and when we are seeing debris left on the street, when we are seeing human feces that we have to deal with.
The city has given the campers notice that by next Wednesday, it plans to enforce illegal parking bylaws.
The city must stop criminalizing people whose homes are their vehicles. And this would just mitigate the worst aspects of the housing crisis, which is the broader context in which people are living in RVs on public streets.
When people come by and they look at us the same way. And they look at us like every one of us is a drug addict and some kind of loser from society, and we deserve to suffer. I don't think we're all like that.
With 1 week to decide, the campers are facing an ultimatum.
Those who are not actively working with outreach or have found another place to go, we will be looking at ticketing and towing, unfortunately.
Could you tow them, though, if they're in the vehicle and they're living in the vehicle with them inside the vehicle? Is that feasible?
We do not tow vehicles with people inside them.
So if they stay in their vehicle, they can stay?
I guess that is a potential option. If people choose to do that.
Meanwhile, instead of packing up, many campers are planning a rally to hold their ground. Ematagahi, Global News.
Alright, is it any wonder why the city is clamping down on this? Since the last time I've been here, things have gotten worse and worse. Look at unbelievable. And here's another unbelievable example of why it's getting worse, because the sidewalk is even blocked. How do you get around this mess? I can't walk on the sidewalk. Huh? Look at I have to go up over the grass. Look at this. Generators, junk. Oh, it smells bad. And I mean bad. Wow. I can't get over this. See? Look at this guy's got 2 generators. Unbelievable. This guy on the other side of the road, generators going crazy. Holy fuck. I've never seen it like this. This is disgusting. And this is the last guy on this strip. And you know, yeah, wow. So let's try and get a video from the top here of the walkway and show you an overlook here. Look at all the crap. There's no way these people can move this stuff. How are they gonna move it? Like, gee williker, there's so much shit. And as I said, there was more parked here the last time I was here, but I'm guessing some of them vacated already. And of course, Mr. Noisy Generator guy is going. And look at this one. Wow. This has to take the cake. I hope the camera's not too jittery. Yeah. Ah, what an eyesore. Guys are giving us, not me anymore, I guess. It will be again, though. Us a bad name. You know, and on top of the school grounds, overlooking this, you have this big soccer field. Whoops, zoom out. Yeah, this is a very popular, busy soccer field in the summer. This is packed with people, so they get to put up with all this noise, and I'm sure a lot of them complained. So anyhow, my friends, yeah, sidewalks blocked off, junk. Look at this guy's got like a 4 gas tanks sitting out in the open and 2 generators. You know what? That's just waiting for an explosion. And that's exactly what happened to the last van guy that lived down here. They had that explosion that I reported on and did a video on. Ay, 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 come on, people. Look at this. Is that an eyesore? Do you guys agree with me? Shee. Okay, let's try and come down off this hill. Right beside it is a really nice park. A decent park by the soccer field. So, you know, why would somebody want to hang around this area? So, oh, looks like a garbage truck backed up to this guy. Not a surprise, eh? You should just tow the whole car away. Oh, maybe he is actually. It's a disposal truck. Okay, guess not. He's leaving. He looked at the mess and even he couldn't stand the mess. So, you've seen the news clips. I showed you that. Now, what is the response from the RV community, from the van life community? Right here. Here's their response. They're posting up stickers, posters, rally to defend people living in vehicles. We won't go. Defend the Slocan RV city. Social housing now. Stop criminalizing people who live in vehicles. So what they're going to do is have a protest Wednesday, May 26th, 4 o'clock, right here. It's a part of the native territories here. RV car dwellers are calling a rally to defend a community of vehicle dwellers from displacement. This RV camp has been at Slocum and 12th for 2 years now, but now the city is enforcing bylaws and ordering residents to leave by May 26th, attempting to hide this housing crisis by banishing vehicle dwellers from site. We demand an end to cities' enforcement of laws and bylaws that criminalize and displace people who live in vehicle homes. Everybody has a right to stay in their home without moving constantly from fear of being towed or ticketed. Criminalizing us is not a solution to the housing crisis. We will not be displaced into invisibility. Hey, it looks like my van. What the hell are you doing there? Chuck, get out of there. Where did I leave off? We're calling for the construction of permanent social housing at welfare and pension rates. Some of us want to live indoors but can't afford housing and don't want to live in supportive housing where residents are surveilled and their tenant rights are trampled by non-profit service providers. Government should be building quality housing so that everyone has an option of living inside. You know, to be honest, the sun is shining in my eyes and I can't see you. To be honest, that poster does make sense. But you know what? Creating an eyesore doesn't help you guys. They might help you, they might not. It does make it ugly and maybe they will, but at this point they're just telling you to get off the street, go elsewhere. And what are you going to do? Just take the problem somewhere else. That's what it is. The high cost of housing here, yeah, I can see it. It's crazy. It's way too high. I agree with that. But you know what? There's a good lot of us that don't want to live in a house. There's a good lot of us that enjoy the freedom of being able to move around. Not like a lot of these other ones where can't move around. See, look at propane bottles, junk. Look at, that's no good. So, this makes it look bad for all of us. So there you go. What do you all think about this current van life situation that's happening in Metro Vancouver area? And you know what? It's not only in Vancouver area, it's happening outside cities like Squamish and Victoria. They're clamping down too, kicking people out. And you can see why. Just plain ugliness. Things that are appropriately not done. Things that are not done appropriately. It's a mess, and they can't do that if you want to do this lifestyle. So, what do you think? Should we go back next Wednesday, check in on this meeting that they're having, this rally? Do you think it's worthwhile taking a peek? I think so, but I'm curious. Your opinion on this? What should we do? Should we go check it out? Should we revisit the scene of ugliness? Let me know in the comment section of this video. And you know what, my friends? Be awesome until then. And please clean up your mess if you're doing the van life, RV life thing. And we'll see you next time, next video. Cheers.